What is up, gamers and gals, and thank you for tuning in to the second episode of my college series where we are going to be reviewing some of the stats and extracurriculars that got me into my colleges. First of all, thank you guys so much for the support on my college decisions video. If you haven't seen that yet, I'll link it down here. I could never have imagined all the support for that, so thank you so much. Today, by your popular demand, I'm going to be overviewing some of the things that I did that helped me get into my colleges, and I'm also going to be giving you guys some tips and advice at the end, so make sure to stay. Just for some context, I was accepted to these 6 colleges and I was denied at these 4 colleges, so take that as you will. No, I have not decided yet where I will be enrolling, but I am currently in the process of figuring all of that out, so stay tuned. Alright, let's jump right into it. So first of all, my bio. I am a white male who applied under biology. I go to a medium to large size high school in Southern California, and yeah, that's about it. Nothing too interesting. Great. So I have a 4.68, I believe, GPA, weighted, and a 4.0 GPA, unweighted. For class rank, I ranked 4th, I believe, and there's about 600 people in my class. I took 8 AP classes, and those are AP Bio, AP Euro, AP US History, AP Lang, AP Environmental Science, AP Calculus BC, Lit, and Gov. And of the 5 that I have already taken the AP test for, I got 5s on all of those so far. Also, I took 2 dual enrollment courses at a local community college, and I would encourage other people to look and see what dual enrollment options are available for you, because it's a very easy way to get college credit. Okay, so standardized testing. So I took both the ACT and the SAT. I took the ACT twice, and the second time I got a 35. I took the SAT twice, and the second time I got a 1540. The subscore of that SAT was a 790 in math and a 750 in English. I also took the essay components of those exams. For the ACT, which is scored out of 12, I got a 12. And for the SAT, which is scored out of 24, I got a 22. I also took the SAT subject tests for molecular biology, in which I got a 770, and those are out of 800. And I took the math 2, which I got a 800. Quick note on scores. I was lucky to have good scores, and I know that's obviously something that's beneficial when applying to colleges, but don't fall into the trap of focusing solely on scores and believing that your standardized testing is going to be the ultimate determining factor of your success. There's plenty of research to show that standardized testing scores is not a very good predictor of success, and a lot of colleges are actually catching on to this. In fact, the University of California system just announced that for at least the next school year, they are not going to be requiring applicants to submit an SAT or an ACT. So, not to say that standardized test scores aren't extremely valuable, but I think that over the next few years you're going to see a shift away from standardized testing and towards what we're going to be talking about next, and that is your extracurricular involvement. First, I have been a member of ASB, or student government, in my high school for all 4 years, and this year I've served as the executive vice president. I was also able to do things like monitor the spirit commissions. I was also a blue crew leader, so I led our student section at some of our sporting events. And I was able to weave all of those involvements into my essays in order to demonstrate how I was someone who would show a lot of school pride and school spirit, and who could contribute not only as a student, but as a leader. Up next, I have been involved in the cross-country and track and field teams. I was a team captain for the varsity team, and with those, I was able to talk about the ways that track has kind of defined me as a person, how it's been able to instill discipline and teamwork and leadership into my life. I was also a member of a number of clubs, the first of which being Model United Nations. This senior year, I've actually been the president of the Model United Nations Club. Next, I've been a member of the Not One More Teen Suicide Club, and my junior year, I was the treasurer of that group. I'm also a member of the Ping Pong Club, and my sophomore year, I was the secretary of that club. So in each of those 3 clubs, what's important isn't that I was a member, but that I held leadership positions and that I demonstrated a significant amount of interest and commitment to those groups. And when I relay that in my essays to my colleges, I'm demonstrating that I'm able to commit to something for a long period of time, not just be a part of a group for the aesthetics of it on my application, but in order to actually develop my leadership and become a better person and contribute to my community. So there are also a number of other groups, but because I wasn't involved in them as a leader or for extended periods of time, they weren't as defining to me in terms of my development and my character, so they weren't even mentioned in my college applications. And this past year, I earned my Boy Scouts award, and that was something that I was able to talk about a lot in my college essays. Within Boy Scouts, I was also the senior patrol leader of my patrol. Up next is one that is very important to me, and it's something that I made sure to emphasize in my college applications, and that is my religious involvement. So I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So I have attended seminary, which is a class that I go to every morning before school where we learn about religion, and that was something that I mentioned in my college applications to show the devotion I have for my religion. As part of the youth group, I've been involved as the president of a quorum and also the first assistant of a quorum of young men. Another thing that colleges want to see is passion and purpose. And religion was one of the ways I conveyed that through my applications. So of course, my spirituality is central to what I believe in the purpose of life and in the career that I want for myself and in the family that I'm pursuing eventually. So I made sure to tie in my religious involvement to my career and to my college aspirations so that college readers can see that and know that I'm someone who truly cares about what I'm talking about. Last but not least for extracurriculars is my involvement with the American Legion. Specifically, I was a member of the Boys State program, which is where mostly one student per school is selected by the American Legion to attend a convention during the summer at the state's capital, and all of these boys create a mock government. So Boys State was something that I talked about in some of my essays. One of the things that I mentioned was my ability to bounce back from failure, because at the very beginning of the convention, I had my heart set on running to be the party chairman, and I lost that election in a landslide. However, it didn't crush me, and I was able to find a way to come back and serve on the state assembly. I was also involved with the legal advocacy competition where I went to the quarterfinals, and the speech competition where I placed second. However, the thing that I felt was most influential for me with my Boys State experience was this petition that I helped start that essentially changed the structure of the camp. The next thing with the American Legion that I was involved in was their speech competition. For the last 2 years, I participated. Each year I've won the post in the district competition, and I placed second in the area competition. Okay, so now you've seen the things that I wrote about in my college applications. I'm going to give you some more advice by looking at what I did and critiquing it. Before we get into this, I don't want to sound narcissistic. I know it can seem very odd. It feels very uncomfortable to talk about myself and my college applications on the internet, but I know watching these videos, for me at least, was very helpful in my college applications experience to kind of gain inspiration from what others had done and to use those things in order to better frame myself. So please don't take this in the wrong way. I only want to help you guys. So without further ado, this is what was good and bad about my application. So strengths, I had fairly decent test scores and grades. Those are obviously beneficial, but like I said, not the ultimate deciding factor when it comes to college admissions. If I were to do something better, perhaps it would have been more AP courses, because I know there are some people that take tons of those. Something that you might have picked up on as you were watching this video is at the beginning I mentioned that I wanted to study biology. But as I was discussing my extracurriculars, there wasn't a whole lot to signal that I'm heading towards a life science study. I think if you look at the things I've done, it seems like I'm leaning towards a political science or a communication major, whereas that's definitely an interest of mine, but it's not what I am ultimately pursuing in colleges. So what I did try to do was I tried to combine my interest in politics and political advocacy and public speaking in order to infuse that with my interest in medicine, to state that that interdisciplinary experience would be very beneficial in the long run if I'm trying to do things like get CDC approval for a new drug or discuss patients the pros and cons of their therapies. So the next place that I believe I could have improved my college applications was by adding some sort of wow factor. And what I mean by that is that when colleges sort through all of these extremely qualified applicants, they're looking for something to take that student to the next level, something extraordinary or something so interesting and unique that they look at that student and they say, yes, I need this person to be part of my class. And those can be things like national awards or very unique, esoteric fields of study with lots of experience. And I didn't necessarily have that. For me, I had a blend of a lot of different areas and no real concentrated focus on one particular thing at an elite national level. If you're really going to give yourself the best shot at getting into top 20 universities, you would like to have some sort of wow factor in your application. And of course, that's not necessary for all colleges, and you can still get into those top 20 universities and do very well without those wow factors, but they're always something that's very beneficial. But know that college is such an arbitrary and ambiguous and unfair process that you honestly never know what you're gonna get. You can have stellar grades and outstanding extracurriculars, and sometimes it just doesn't work out for you and there's no way to explain it. Maybe the person reading your application just didn't get their coffee that day. You really never know what's gonna happen, and you can't let college determine how you place value on yourself. Ultimately, at the end of the day, college is supposed to be a means to an end. It's supposed to take you to the next level and launchpad you to the rest of your life, where you're going to find happiness and success through family and through your career and through service and the things that you love. So don't allow college to be the end all be all. When you view it as a tool, as a means to an end, you're gonna have a much more healthy experience preparing, applying, and attending whatever college is right for you. So, I hope that was helpful. If you have any more questions, feel free to talk to me in the comments. I will try to reply. If you're interested in seeing any sort of other college-related content, please suggest that in the comments as well. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.